The most predictable thing in the world just happened this morning. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Cohn Zone. That's Lowell Cohn. I'm Grant Cohn. We have a special show today because we have a lot of breaking news, a lot of injuries. But before we get to the injuries, the Niners finally came to their senses and waived Jake Moody. It took a lot longer than it needed to take. Dad, why do you think he had to go now? And how do you feel the Niners handled this? It's a two-part question.
Okay, let's start with the third part. It's good they let him go. We can all agree with that. They let him go. Second part, what took them so long? It's puzzling. And I want to point out to our viewers that for months, Grant has been saying they, as a bottom line move, they need to let this guy go. Yeah. As I recall, during training camp, you said that he lost out on the competition with the other kicker and he won his job by losing the competition. Didn't you say something like that?
I did.
So the answer was blowing in the wind. Mm-hmm. And I find it puzzling that in spite of all the evidence and going back to last season, that Kyle's still stuck with him. So I want to talk about Kyle, not Moody, because he's history, and he really should have been off the team before the season started. Keeping him on the team, and I'm talking about Kyle, shows either bad judgment or stubbornness, or both.
Or both.
It was clearly not in the interest of the team to keep this young man. He may be a very nice young man, but he's not a very good kicker. It was not in the interest of the team. And Shanahan is always talking about, I care about the team. What matters is not individuals, but the team. But in this case, what apparently mattered was an individual and not the team. So that's the thing first that bothers me. If he was stubborn, why? Because he was a high draft pick? Because he endorsed him? Was this about, and this is a question, not an answer. Was this about Kyle's ego, or is his judgment really that bad? Because everyone can agree the guy was a bad kicker and shouldn't have been on the team.
Yeah.
They won in spite of him, not because of him.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing, Iggy, I didn't like the way Shanahan handled himself at the post-game press conference. I understand that it's right away, maybe he doesn't have a chance to get all his thoughts together. He has a PR staff. They're supposed to talk about what questions they're going to get and particular answers. And if they don't do it, they should do it. Mm-hmm. Certainly, he was going to get questions about the kicker. The kicker missed 2 kicks and made what should not have been a close game.
Yeah.
So, Iggy, you were there. I heard it on TV. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kawakami asked the first question about the kicker. I don't know what his question was, and I don't care. But the answer that Kyle gave was, he's going to be my kicker for the next game. Was it? Help me there.
Let me get the exact quote. When you say, oh, hold on, Jake. I'll get it in a second. But he essentially said, no, there's no question he's going to be on the team this year. No question.
Okay, implying.
Is Jake as a kicker, does that trigger any question in your mind on whether he's going to be back on the team? No question.
So his answer was no question.
No question.
He's asked the first time.
Yeah.
He's there. He's the head of the coach of the team, and he's been a head coach for 8 years now. Mm-hmm. He knows about news conferences. So he gives an answer, and he says there's no question. That's a declarative sentence. There's no question. He's going to be our kicker. Mm-hmm. Now, a few minutes later, Eric Branch of the Chronicle, God love Eric, asks a follow-up question. Eric, if you're watching, boy, are you a good journalist. And what did Eric...
He said, when you say there's no question about Jake Moody's job security, why is that? And then Shanahan says, well, it's just the way you ask it. Right now, I have no question. I'm trying to finish today and then get on a plane and evaluate stuff and go back at it.
Okay. It's just the way you ask it. Like there's something wrong with either his question or Kawakami's question.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just the way you ask it is bitchy. It's a bitchy way to respond. And then he says, I have to go on the plane to evaluate things. Well, just before, 2 minutes before, he said he's a kicker for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So I'm not contradicting myself. This coach is contradicting himself within 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very bad look. Here's my rule internally for when I interview people. They can say to me, I have no comment. And that means no comment. I respect it. Iggy, or they can say to me, you know, Lowell, I don't have the answer now. It's a fair question. I need to think about it. Iggy, I respect that. I don't respect giving two contradictory answers because it's almost like one of them is a lie. If you want me to take you seriously, dude, you have to be above board. I'm above board with you. I don't lie. I don't make things up. I don't have it both ways. Now, look, I'm not saying he was lying, but he contradicted himself, and he's not allowed to do that. He's a grown-up. He's the voice and the face of the team. He has to be a professional. And based on that, I don't take him seriously, Iggy. That's my gripe.
He went from saying there's no question he's going to be on the team this week to actually I have to look at the film. Like, yeah. I understand having to look at the film before you bench a quarterback because you got to look at, you know, the secondary and the all 22 and see if he really read the field correctly or incorrectly. What do you have to see about this kicker? He missed the 27-yarder, hit it off the upright. Then he missed another one. He's been missing kicks for 3 years. What do you have to? You're not going to look at the film. You've already made your mind up. You made your mind up when you threw your little tantrum on the sideline, which again doesn't move anyone because he's your fault. You should be mad at yourself, not at Jake. Jake is an extension of you and your judgment.
That's true. In fact, I feel sorry for Jake, but I'm critical of Shanahan.
Right. Me too.
I'm critical of Shanahan. He's supposed to know what to do. I'm paying him a lot of money, Iggy, to make good decisions. And he comes out. Can you imagine? I wasn't on the sideline. You weren't. When he missed that doink, that first field goal attempt, can you imagine how the players felt? Do you think they felt, hey, we believe in this guy? We're behind him, just like Shanahan is. They're saying to themselves, what is this guy doing on the team? He's killing us. That's what they're saying.
And why is Kyle sticking with him? How come he gets to perform this poorly and keep his job? If I performed that poorly, I'd be out of here. I don't understand. It makes people lose confidence in the leader. Is he losing it?
Yeah, and it's funny. We're being critical, and we will be critical in other areas as well after a win. And I want to be clear, I give them all credit for a win. Iggy, in my little philosophy, and it's a little philosophy, bless you, there's an absolute difference between a win and a loss. It's not even close. Yeah. No matter how you win, even if you played poorly, you won.
Can you imagine how the Seahawks feel this week?
Yes, they lost. They feel terrible.
Yep.
And Iggy, they feel terrible, and their coach blew it for them. Because he didn't go for it on 4th and inches.
He shriveled.
He shriveled. And now they have 16 more games to go, and they know our coach has no guts.
He's a shriveler.
He's a shriveler. So, the Seahawks are feeling terrible. The Niners should feel great. I'm serious. Yeah. They should feel great. They won a game. But we are not fans. We are analysts and critics, and we praise them for the win. Now we want to talk about some areas that are in the news today.
Yeah, it's interesting. They had this really dramatic win. They had to overcome Moody, and Moody was sort of the story afterward, which he shouldn't have been, and now he's gone. So at least the 49ers can focus on winning. But this win over the Seahawks came at quite a cost. George Kittle pulled his hamstring. Going to be out at least 4 weeks. We don't really know how long he'll be out, but he's going to be out at least 4 weeks. He's on the injured reserve list. That means he will miss next week against the Saints, the week after that against the Cardinals, the week after that against the Jaguars, and the week after that against the Rams, and then they'll reevaluate. What do you think?
This is a tremendous loss, Iggy, for them. Iggy, he's their best receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Iggy, he may be their best player on offense.
I think so.
I think
I
so.
think so.
I don't know him. I don't have any feelings about him one way or another.
It's not Trent anymore, and I don't think it's Christian anymore,
And it may not be the quarterback.
and it may not be the quarterback.
May not. I think he's their best player on offense, and he's a good player and he's a tough player.
Yep.
So okay, I want to say something. It's a very big loss.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something really, and people are going to be angry at me. My next thought is, so what?
Yeah.
They lost him, and we'll get into this later. They lost him. It's a fact of life. I don't care. My heart doesn't break for him or for them.
Yeah.
I don't want him to be hurt. I'm not happy that he's hurt. But do you think that the Saints are saying, "Oh God, I feel so sorry for the Niners. They're not going to have George Kittle when they play us." When they're looking at film today, they're thinking, "Oh, let's not count him. He's out." Good.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
they're thinking.
and they still should, and the Niners still should find a way to win. I mean, he's
Oh,
only going to be gone
absolutely.
for a quarter of the season. And I mean, a lot of teams lose good players. The Raiders just lost Brock Bowers, their tight end, who's just as good. He's going to be out for a few weeks. Teams deal with stuff like this.
Yep.
And it's like the Niners, their biggest signing this offseason was a backup tight end. So you should be prepared. And what's crazy about the way week one unfolded is that the hero was the third string tight end. So you got players.
Yeah. Bill Walsh always said, next man up.
Yeah.
And the next man up was expected to perform at a high level, or else he wouldn't have been on the team.
And Tom just did.
He did. He won the game.
Won the freaking game.
So here's the thing. We're talking about injuries. So I'm going to do a little interlude here, Iggy, because we have other injuries to talk about. Do you feel if without Kittle, they lose some games they should win, do you feel that's an excuse that lets Kyle off the hook?
No, you built your offense this way. You doubled down on all the old players. Robert Saleh, I mean, if you're 29 years old, you got to go. Sorry, we're starting over. Kyle, he wanted to bring all these players back despite what happened last year, and he felt that it's okay. And, I mean, week one, a lot of these guys get hurt. Kittle, great player, but he couldn't make it to halftime. And he's going to be out a while. And the thing about hamstring injuries is they can linger.
Yeah, and that Juice guy's always talking about their core players. Well, I don't. The core is old and declining, and Kittle is an example of it. If you put all your eggs in that core basket, you're making a gamble, and the gamble may not pay off. So again, who am I being critical of? Kyle.
Yeah.
In any event, the deal with injuries is you got an injuries, everybody got it. No one cares about you. On Sunday, you bring your best 22 or whatever it is. You bring your guys. I'll bring my guys. We'll play. I don't care who's there or who's not there. And that's what Kyle has to do. He has to play New Orleans. They'll bring their starters and their reserves. The Niners will bring theirs, and they'll play a football game. No one cares who shows up or not. It's irrelevant.
I love that you brought up the core too, because I hate the concept. And I think what's interesting about this game is that the core didn't necessarily win the game for the Niners. Kittle was out. Jennings was out. Juszczyk was irrelevant as ever. I mean, the people who won the game were Ricky Pearsall, Jake Tonjes, Marquise Siegel, Nick Bosa, not Trent Williams, not Christian McCaffrey.
Iggy, how did Trent Williams play?
One of the worst games of his career.
Tell me why.
Well, he kept getting pushed back into Brock Purdy. He seemed exhausted. He seemed overweight. He seemed like he was not playing to the whistle. I mean, all the things that you would never expect from him.
So at least for one game, he appeared to decline.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's a statistical fact. It's like the lowest graded performance of his on the 49ers since 2020.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's a fact.
It's a fact. And this is after him doing training camp this year. Now, I don't know how hard he went but he seems like he's got more of a gut than usual. He seems like he's bigger than usual. Just doesn't seem as good as he used to be.
Okay. Let's get back to injuries, Iggy.
Yeah.
So We got Kittle, which is a big one. How about Jennings? That's a big injury. And
Yeah, let's talk about Jennings right now.
as a result, they signed Kendrick Bourne, who got waived by the New Englands.
Yeah. I mean, he's good enough for the Niners, but not good enough for the Patriots. Jennings injured his shoulder about 7 yards downfield. Someone hit him during a route. I guess it could have been a penalty, but left the game, didn't return. I saw him at his locker afterward. He could take his shirt off. Sometimes if you have a separated shoulder, you can't even do that. So it's not that bad. Kyle Shanahan said he hopes he can play this weekend. He haven't ruled him out, but signing Kendrick Bourne makes you wonder. And even if he does play, it's not like Jennings was particularly good before he went down. He had 2 catches.
Yeah. I'm going to give you credit for saying they needed to get rid of Moody. I'm going to take credit because last week I said, don't be surprised if Jennings gets hurt.
Yeah.
Because, again, I've been watching this game a long time. There's one thing about being in cardio shape, running up and down the field, jumping around, all that. There's another thing of football shape, hitting and being hit and falling down. It's a unique sport in that regard. And I knew that Jennings would not be ready because his body had not trained for football.
Nope.
And he was an injury waiting to happen, Iggy.
Yeah. And they rushed him out there because they were desperate. They needed him to play. And he got hurt not getting hit after catching a pass over the middle, just blocking. Someone ran into him. And what's interesting is now the replacement is older than him, Kendrick Bourne. He got waived a while ago. I mean, I don't think he's done anything since August 1st. So he's in even less football shape than Juwan Jennings is. I don't know. We'll see how long this one lasts.
Iggy, if Jennings can't go, and I have no idea if he can go or not, who would be there let's say 2 starting wide receivers?
Ricky Pearsall and Kendrick Bourne.
Well, I love Pearsall, Iggy. I love Pearsall. And I used to really like Kendrick Bourne. It's just that he's old and no one seems to want him anymore unless you're desperate for wide receivers. I'm not putting him down, but I think they keep downgrading that position.
Yeah. Here's my problem too. They drafted a wide receiver this year. They drafted a wide receiver last year. Now, the guy they took last year is hurt, but the guy they took this year is around. He should be healthy this week. He was good in training camp. He was good in preseason. Why not play the young guy as opposed to the 30-year-old who tore his ACL a couple of years ago? I mean, yes, that guy knows your system better, but Saleh's making it work with young guys. How come you can't? I'm just saying. Yeah. Young guys, they're faster. They're generally more durable. They're in better shape. This guy's been here all offseason. What's wrong with Jordan Watkins? He might actually make you guys better.
And Iggy, you think he's a good player?
I think he's a very good player. Now, he might not run the right route perfectly every single time, but a lot of coaches work with rookie wide receivers. Can't you? You're such a great coach, Kyle. Can't you do it? If anyone could do it, you could do it. You're incredible. You played wide receiver at Texas. He caught like 4 passes. He should know.
Iggy, did anybody else on that offense get hurt?
Yeah, the left guard, Ben Barch. Remember, they had Aaron Banks, and the Packers paid him a lot of money because he's pretty good. It's okay. Gave him $20 million a year or close to it. And the Niners were like, no, we're not. We're not falling for that. We're not spending for – we're going to sign his backup, Ben Barch, who's almost as good, and he can play for a couple $1 million. The problem with Ben Barch is he gets hurt all the time, and he got hurt once again.
Is he likely to play on Sunday?
It's his knee. He's day-to-day.
Knees are bad. Okay. Did anybody else get hurt, Iggy?
Oh, the quarterback.
Oh, that.
The quarterback. Maybe we should talk about Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has a toe injury and a left shoulder injury. And then someone asked Kyle Shanahan, if you had to say which one is worse, which one would you say? And he said, I guess I would say the toe is worse, which makes me feel like the shoulder is probably worse given his track record.
It's hard to know. Do you think he'll play on Sunday?
It's hard to know because Kyle Shanahan is so the opposite of transparent when it comes to these injuries. He could have turf toe. I don't know. But let's say his toe got stepped on and let's say his left shoulder is merely sore, then yeah, he could play in this game. But if the shoulder is like slightly sprained and they would have to give him some type of an injection to numb it, I would say absolutely do not do that, because it seems like it would be at risk of, getting further injured. And you can't take that risk when you're 1-0 in week 2 facing the Saints. Theoretically, you should be able to beat the Saints without Brock Purdy or Kittle or Jennings.
I agree. So if there's any risk of making it worse, play Mac Jones. I agree. They could probably beat the Saints with their third string team. So don't take any chances.
I think so. I mean, the Saints quarterback's a third stringer. Spencer Rattler. Have you heard of Spencer? Have you seen Spencer Rattler play, Dad?
I have. I love his name, Iggy.
It's a great name. Spencer Rattler.
Was he named after a rattlesnake?
Maybe he earned the name.
I love it.
Yeah.
But Iggy, I don't think he's a very good quarterback.
No. And their defensive coordinator is Brandon Staley. Remember him?
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's an oh my God situation, Dad.
He's the guy who flopped in the former San Diego team, right?
Yeah, and he was with the Niners last year.
Yeah, and helped them.
He was part of that defensive brain trust.
He played through, Iggy.
Remember when the Niners hired him and Nick Sorensen and told them that told us they were going to work together, and everyone's like, "Well, that sounds like a horrible idea, but we'll be nice. This could work. Give the benefit of the doubt. Sounds like a stupid idea, but hey, let's be open-minded."
I want to come back to Brock Purdy.
Sure.
Let's assume he's playing, because he's a gutsy guy. He's so earnest, so sincere, and he's a competitor. So if he's well, I love to watch him work. Iggy, tell me your impression of how he played on Sunday.
I think he played very well, considering his offensive line wasn't playing well. He was under pressure. Kittle went out. Jennings went out. He had one wide receiver and some backups and a running back to throw to. And he was going against a good defense, and he was on the road. He came from behind. All of that was really good. Okay. Also, he threw 2 picks he didn't need to throw. His defense was playing pretty well. He didn't need to take those risks. Those were risky throws into coverage downfield. It's not like they were tipped or the wide receiver dropped a pass. He didn't need to force. He forced those passes in a game where his defense was winning it. So we talk about Moody making mistakes and making that game closer than it needed to be. Brock made that game closer than it needed to be. But you know what? Then he won it. And he made plays that Sam couldn't make. Still, that final touchdown pass to Jake Tondes was a better catch than it was a throw. But at least Purdy gave him a freaking chance. So I think I gave him a C+ for the game, and I think I was hard on him because of the interceptions. But you could argue that it was a B+.
Okay. All right. Next question. He threw 2 picks. Do you feel those 2 picks are a one-off, or is he the kind of quarterback who will throw 2-3 touchdowns a game, 1-2 picks a game?
For his last 21 starts, he's thrown 27 touchdown passes and 19 picks. So 19 interceptions in his last 21 starts. It seems like he's become the kind of quarterback who will throw 1 or 2 passes up for grabs every game. And that's the kind of quarterback that Jimmy Garoppolo became after a while. And it's troubling. I mean, is this just the natural progression of quarterbacks under Kyle Shanahan? Is this what happens? I don't know. I mean, he's clearly way better than Jimmy. When he scrambles around, when he buys time, it's a lot of fun to watch, and he's very good at it. But when it comes to just throwing the ball, you can kind of count on these couple of throws every game. And last year, you could understand it because the team wasn't that good. This year, if the defense is giving up 13 points, man, be conservative.
It's funny. When I watch him, he does so many good things in a game.
Yeah.
I love how he scrambles. I love his poise, Iggy. Mm-hmm. He has really an old man's poise.
Yeah, he does.
And when he makes a good pass, it's so on point. It's so on the money. Catching a guy, getting a guy in stride, going through his progression so brilliantly. So when he does all that stuff, I have to say I'm in love with him. I am, as a player. But then the 1 or 2 interceptions, you think, ooh, why'd you do that, Purdy?
Yeah.
I don't understand you. And it still baffles me, Iggy. It does. It baffles me.
Yeah, and I think the other issue that's as big as the turnover issue for Brock is the injury issue. And I'm not saying it's his fault, but it's a Niner issue. He has now gotten injured in 3 of his last 7 starts. So he injured what was it? His shoulder, and then injured his shoulder against the Seahawks last year at home, missed a game, came back, injured his elbow against the Lions week 17, missed week 18. Now week 1 injures his toe and his shoulder again. I mean, he's injured his shoulder. It's just a different shoulder. He's injured his shoulder like 4 times. He runs around a lot. He's a little guy. He takes big hits, and the offensive line isn't good. So that's going to be an issue for a while, I think. Him staying healthy.
Right. And part of the reason he gets injured is because Kyle and John don't put much stock in the offensive line.
Which is kind of amazing. Once you put this much stock in the quarterback, I feel like the corresponding move has to be protecting him.
Yeah. The Eagles protect their quarterback.
Hey, we just bought a Lamborghini, but we're going to save a little money by not getting car insurance. That doesn't sound smart.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see Mac Jones play on. So I'm going to be there. I thought Mac Jones had a good offseason. This is Kyle Shanahan's handpicked backup. See what you got. It's the freaking Saints. This should be a layup.
Yeah, it should be a layup. It should. I don't think
Let's talk about one more person.
think they can win. Who?
Jewish McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey played. They were originally going to name him Jewish, but then they settled on Christian, which I think makes sense considering he's not Jewish. Played in this game, was ruled out for 2 practices, came back, 31 touches, 22 carries, 9 catches. What'd you think of Christian?
Iggy, how many runs did he have?
22.
Okay. Here's what I think. When he was really good, Christian McCaffrey was an elite football player. He might have one season been the best player in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call it elite/superstar. Mm-hmm. Now he's a very good player. He is no longer, based on the one game. It could change, but I'm saying based on what I saw in the one game, I can't call him elite, and I cannot call him a superstar, but I can call him a very good football player. And this is what I mean. He's really good coming out of the backfield and catching passes and getting additional yards. He's absolutely a threat and an asset. And God love him. God love him, because Brock needs a lot of people to throw, needs good people to throw the ball to. But he's called a running back, not a wide receiver. And they run him. He got 22 carries, which I think is too much for him, but he got 22 carries. And as I recall, Iggy, he averaged 3.1 yards a carry.
That's correct.
Correct?
Yeah.
That's not good. That's below the league average. Even the other guy who they brought in, who didn't seem like a ball of fire, had a better average than McCaffrey.
It's true. 3.7.
He was 3.7. So the reason I no longer, based on the one game, call him a superstar is he's an average to a below average running back who is wonderful at coming out of the backfield and catching the ball. But Iggy, he used to, as I remember him, he would navigate the line of scrimmage, all of those bodies, and he was so alert. He had such great vision. All of a sudden, you'd see him break away from all of that tangle of bodies. And these were like big gains, sometimes touchdowns. You don't feel that's going to happen now. You feel some big guy's going to put him down like a pancake.
The way I saw it, when he was here at first, he wouldn't take big hits. He would run between the tackles, and he would take glancing blows at best. Frank Gore used to be like that. But McCaffrey had all this quickness and speed and burst that Frank Gore didn't have when I was covering him. Now, I mean, against the Seahawks, he would get hit really hard by like 2 guys or 3, and it was like boom, 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 and he would get knocked back on his back. It's like, I can't remember defenses teeing off on McCaffrey the way that the way that the Seahawks teed off on him. And A lot of it was the offensive line really losing their matchup with the Seahawks defensive line. Because again, Robinson didn't do that well in the game either, but he did do better than Christian. And then we all watched Monday Night Football last night. Jordan Mason looked great. He looked exactly like he looked on the 49ers. And once again, I'm wondering, what was that about? Why is he not on the Niners anymore? He'd be perfect for them. He was. He is.
He is such a quality running back. And he's a guy who hurts defenders and gains 5-6 yards a carry when you really need him. So anyway, he's a
better runner than McCaffrey right now. Not a better player, but a better runner.
I'd say there's no question. And McCaffrey used to be a better runner than him. So I respect McCaffrey. I hope he has a good season. But based on what I saw, he is another one of the so-called core players who is in decline. And I'm going to name again some core players that are in decline. The running back, Kittle, the left tackle.
Yep.
That's 3 out of 11.
Well, and the core is like 7 players. But yeah, those are 3 big ones on the offense.
Yeah.
Is Jennings not in decline? I mean, what's Aiyuk going to be when he comes back? I mean, to me, the core changes every year. And I don't like that these veterans sort of give themselves that mantle like they're just going to be in it forever. Juice, you were never in the core. Ricky's more in the core than you are. D. Winters, the linebacker next to Fred Warner, had a more impactful game than the fullback. So the core evolves.
Yeah.
You know the Niners don't have a kicker right now?
Well, maybe they'll bring back Jake Moody. They brought back Juszczyk.
They should bring Moody on the practice squad. Give him one more chance. Dad, do you think anyone's going to sign Jake Moody?
No, I think he's through in the league.
I think it's over.
I think teams are going to look at him and say, "Why did Kyle take so long? The kid's a head case."
Yeah,
that's what I don't mean he's a head case in life. I don't mean that. But as a kicker, I think they're going to think he's a head case. Why even bother? There are other guys. Maybe they don't have the leg that he does, but they'll score more field goals and miss fewer extra points. Yeah.
The 27-yarder was the one that did it. All right.
Did you hear it when you were there? Because on TV I could hear it.
Yeah, it's a bad sound. It's not what he wanted to hear. Okay, prize pick time. It's early in the week, so we don't have a lot of options. This is sort of like a yes or no situation. Do you think Christian McCaffrey will score a touchdown? He touched the ball 31 times. He had ample opportunity, but he didn't score a touchdown against the Seahawks, and they have a good defense. The Saints have the Saints defense. What do you think?
I think he'll score a touchdown.
All right, we're giving it to you, CMC. Make us look smart. Spencer Rattler, will he score? Will he throw for any touchdown passes in this game? Spencer, Mr. Rattler.
No.
Will he run for any?
No.
Will their running back, Alvin Kamara, score a touchdown?
I like him. I've always liked him. So I'm going to say yeah. I'm going to say yes.
Okay. In that case, why don't we do some bonus Giants picks? Let's see if I can find some Giants picks. Are they playing today?
I don't know, but they're now only 3 games behind the Mets. The Mets stink, and all they have to do is beat the Mets to qualify.
Okay. Well, they're playing at 6:45 in Arizona. Let's see. Ramos.
Who's pitching?
Who's pitching? Good question. I don't know. Let me scroll through. There's so many options here.
Is it Verlander?
I have no idea.
Okay, let's forget the pitcher.
Robbie Ray.
You
think he'll throw more than 4.5 strikeouts?
Yeah. I really like him.
What do you like about Robbie Ray? He's a big lefty.
He's a big lefty. He is such a competitor, Iggy. I think he has really good stuff. And on every pitch, he grunts. He's a grunter.
I like that he looks away from his target mid windup and then finds it again as he's throwing.
Yeah.
It seems hard, but he's good at it. He looks away. Okay, Ramos, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, more or less. All he has to do is a combination of 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
I'd say yeah.
All right, let's stay there. I think that's kind of a mature prize pick for the day. 2 Giants, 1 Saint, 1 49er. We're going to flex it, put down $20 to win 80. If you guys want to play, the promo code is COHN. PrizePicks is available in 45 states, including California and Texas. And when you use promo code COHN, PrizePicks will give you $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineups. So win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups. Use promo code COHN when you play today. Let's take some super chats. People have been waiting. Valley Boy says maybe Brock needs Brian Greasy more than we think. We'll see. It's been 1 week. Larry Edwards says, yes, I agree. Kyle should have been more transparent with Moody, and hopefully he will be moving forward. However, Moody should have been gone last year.
Right. And that's one of my criticisms. And that's Grant's criticism, too, of Kyle. What was he waiting for?
Yeah, that should have been the first move this offseason.
Yeah.
Instead, they changed everything else about special teams and acted like we would notice that the main problem was still in the building. Richard Evangelista says, how would you compare George Kittle to Brent Jones?
Those are 2 great players. I would have to say, though, Brent, we're friends. I think maybe George Kittle is a slightly better blocker, stronger, not a better pass catcher. What do you think, Iggy?
Brent Jones played with Jerry Rice the whole time. But Brent Jones never had more than 747 receiving yards in a season. Kittle's had 1,000 yards a few times.
Okay.
Brent Jones was never the best receiver on his team. Kittle has been the best receiver on his team. Kittle will go down as the second leading receiver in franchise history after Rice. He will have more yards than Terrell Owens for the Niners. So no knock on Brent. Kittle's just great. Hall of Famer. Hayden, new member. Larry Edwards, this training staff needs to go. Every year it's injury after injury, just like that last 4 years. So Kyle needs to coach and win, period. Training staff.
I have nothing to say about them.
I just don't think it's the training staff's issue. I think it's bigger than that.
I just am not competent to talk about doctors or training staffs.
Hayden says, what do you think Purdy's ceiling will be, or has he already reached it? Thinking long term, he still has some decision-making errors, but nothing unfixable. What do you expect by the end of the contract?
Okay. I really like that question. Mm-hmm. Iggy, I think he's reached his limit.
Yeah.
I think he's a very good quarterback. So his limit is much higher than Jimmy Garoppolo's. It's higher than Mac Jones. It's a high limit, but I think he's reached it. I think this is who he is. And I hope for his well-being and the team, he can cut down on the picks, but I don't think he's going to be any better than he is now.
I agree.
What do you
think?
I think
when you put an all-star team around him, he doesn't try to do too much, and he's great. When you take some of that away from him, he starts trying to make up the difference, which is natural, and that's when he starts to get in a little bit of trouble.
Love it.
And I think we've seen a lot of quarterbacks look great in ideal situations. Jared Goff, you put him on an excellent team with an excellent coach, he'll throw 40 touchdown passes. He looks really good, but once the situation deteriorates, he deteriorates. And I think that's pretty much the case for every quarterback, except for maybe 3 or 4 or 5. And I don't think he's one of those 3 or 4 or 5.
I agree.
Yeah. Anthony Brown says the decision to waive him came from the top.
Anthony, it may have, but how do you know that it did? Could you give me your source?
I'd love to know if you know, because we've gotten some people telling us some stuff on here about Isaac Guerrero. VO says, did Moody have compromising pictures of Shanahan and Lynch or something? What took so damn long? Love y'all, fellows. You guys are a blessing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Probably wasn't the picture angle. Maybe it was just hubris. All day, every day. Kim says, Brock stinks. He's paid like he's great, and he's not. He doesn't stink.
No, he doesn't stink. It's he may not be worth what he's getting, and he may not be as good as the Niners think he is. But when he plays well, and those picks do bother me, when he plays well, he's a pleasure to watch.
He is. Michael Valencia says, I feel a story not being talked about is our new captain, Diamador Lenore. He needs to check his emotions. He is too unhinged for my liking, unsportsmanlike conduct waiting to happen.
Iggy, you could address that better than I could. You like him, don't you?
I do. He had, I think, a 15-yard penalty in this game. And someone in the press box, I'm not going to say who, when he did it, said, Well, they needed someone to replace the Dre Greenlaw role, and he's going to do it. Yeah, I guess you need someone unhinged on your defense, and he's that guy. I like him. But yeah, you should probably not do that, Diamador. Justin says Warner, Bosa, Winters, Siegel, and Lenore looked awesome. Salah's defense looks promising already.
I agree.
Warner, Bosa, Winters, Siegel, Lenore. Yeah, it's 5 guys. David Kendall Jr. says, first things first, I love listening to you guys. Watching the game last, I don't know what's wrong with Kyle and his system, but when they cut or trade players, they flourish in another system. Kyle needs to go. Did you see that Debo played really well week 1 for the Commanders?
I did. And Iggy, he looked in better shape than he was in last season, didn't he?
It's yeah, he did. He did. It's not a great look for Kyle.
It's not a great look for Debo.
It's not a great look for Debo. It's a good point. Dazza says, new year, yet another boring game with an uninspired offense, awful O-line, and Brock is a mobile Jimmy G. The only bright spot and big change compared to last year appears to be the defense.
Right. Iggy, Salah is so good. He's so good, right?
Yeah. And Kyle's interesting because 4, 5, 6 years ago, you'd think, man, like he's got some issues as a game manager, but his play designs are dazzling and he's just overflowing with creativity. But now Mike McDaniel left and Mike LaFleur left and Bobby Slowick left and Clint Kubiak left and a lot of like underlings have left. And it seems like for 2 years, his only idea is give the ball to Christian. Where is Christian? Should I throw it to Christian? Should I hand it to Christian? Should I have someone? It's like, that's the idea. You got to find something else, man. Christian's not going to save you anymore. All day, every day, Kim says those 2 quarterbacks we saw Sunday night are Ferraris. Brock's more like a vastly overpriced Hyundai. Hyundais make good products. I'm a Kia guy. I got a lot of horsepower in my Kia. He could be the Kia Stingers of quarterbacks, but kind of expensive. Shiloh Q says, I give the blame in the first pick to both Brock and Jennings. It looks like he stuttered, stopped, and the pick was where he was supposed to be. Hi, Lowell.
Hi, Shiloh.
What about me? Hi, Shiloh.
Yeah.
AI25 says Lowell was right. Moody in the gloom. The People's Niner says Mr. Cohn can front offices be as impatient as DeBartolo and have success in this NFL.
I think so. I think Eddie was impatient, but Eddie had very high standards. Eddie wouldn't have, wait, I love this question. You think Eddie would have entered this season with Moody?
No.
It wouldn't have happened. No. You think Eddie would have a team with Kyle Juszczyk on it?
No.
It wouldn't happen. It's not a philanthropy. No. It's a capitalist organization. You want to perform the best you can. Eddie wouldn't have put up with this. Do you think Eddie? Wait, I want to finish.
Evidence of it. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think Eddie would have opened this season with Kyle as his coach after a 6-11 performance? It wouldn't have happened.
No. What I want to say is they drafted Doug Bryan, the kicker, in 1994. Eddie was the owner. They drafted Doug Bryan in round 3. He went to De La Salle in Concord. They spent the 85th pick on him. He was out midway through year 2. Goodbye. Out. They didn't hang on him and see what he might do in year 3. They just got rid of him. So yeah, that's the answer right there. Ask Doug. James Schaefer, thank you. You've been a member for 33 months. Move with Marcy says Grant raced Jake Moody to ensure he stays off the team. Thanks. Ryan G. Hensley says best show on the YouTubes. Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan G. Hensley's shows are pretty good.
They are pretty good. Hayden says on the topic of his interceptions, he is very comparable to Allen in his first 3 years. Very different talents, though. It's true. Josh Allen did throw a lot of picks in his first 3 years.
Okay, here's the deal.
Yeah.
In his whole life, you can never compare Brock Purdy to Josh Allen.
Ever.
Brock Purdy is a very good quarterback. Did
Yeah.
you see Josh Allen the other night? What a player. What a player. He's in a whole other world from Brock Purdy.
Josh Allen might be the most gifted quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
Like,
he's unbelievable. And here's the thing. At the crisis moment, like they were down 15 the other night, at the crisis moment, he came through. At the crisis moment, sometimes Brock Purdy throws a pick.
Yeah, he's never let it come back from 15 down in the fourth quarter.
No.
JJ McCarthy did down 10 last night. He looked pretty good for first start. That was pretty good. Bill Kennedy says, admit it, TD should have been an interception.
It was really close.
Jake Tondres, baby. You got to give Jake Tondres a chance. He's this generation's Dwight Clark, as everyone has always said. Valley Boy says Brock needed Brian Greasy more than we think. We got that already. Charlie Sinclair says, maybe that's Greasy saying that. Charlie Sinclair says Harbaugh beat the Chiefs. Kyle, the better coach. Harbaugh did beat the Chiefs. Kyle hasn't done that.
Okay. It's a very interesting. Let's hold on a minute. Because we know these guys. Well, you and I know Harbaugh. I've seen Kyle, but I don't know him. Harbaugh lost a Super Bowl too here.
He sure did.
So he doesn't get more credit than Kyle. How many years was he the coach, Iggy?
4.
Here. 4. So he got to the Super Bowl once in 4 years. This guy got there twice in 2 years.
Twice.
So it's the same proportion.
Yeah.
It comes down to 1 in 4. In my gut, I feel that Harbaugh is a better coach, but I would be hard-pressed to prove it.
Kyle's a better coordinator than Harbaugh, and I think what's funny is that Kyle and Robert Saleh are such a good team. And if you think of Robert Saleh as the head coach and Kyle as the offensive coordinator, maybe you have more confidence in the 49ers, but like really they do work very well together. And Saleh does fill in some of the leadership gaps that Kyle has.
Yeah.
You see how hard that defense was playing on Sunday? That's Saleh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, Justin Lomker says backup tight end. Didn't look bad. Your thoughts? I like Jake Tondres. He's always been good in training camp. He's good in the one-on-one drills. He is a good route runner. He has good hand-eye coordination. He catches the ball. He's really tall. He's a good player. I don't know how about his blocking, but he could play.
Iggy, there's another backup tight end too.
Luke Farrell. He had a nice catch. I mean, I think he had a catch on 3rd down, took a big hit, held onto it. Good blocker. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got 2 guys.
What I'm saying is it's true. Kittle's out. You got 2 good guys. Go out and play.
Yeah, absolutely. Kev F says, what's the difference between 5-man front and wide 9? Great question. So with a wide 9, you put the defensive ends outside. So one defensive end outside the tight end. That's the wide guy. And the other defensive end outside the offensive tackle. And then you have 2 defensive tackles in there. And it's a very spread out 4-man front. It's the most spread out 4-man front you could possibly see. 5-man front, you still have the same guys setting the edges on the outside, but instead of 2 guys, 2 defensive tackles, there's 3. And so everyone has a one-on-one matchup. And it's a little bit stronger against the run, a little bit weaker in coverage. That's the concept. Josh Wyatt says, who's left against the Saints? Mac, Ricky, and the ghost of CMC? How is this team going to score in the red zone? How did it come to this? They got Jake Tondres.
Iggy, you don't think the Saints are going to beat them, do you?
I don't think the Saints are going to beat them, no. But it might be a game for a few quarters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cassius Boyd said, I mean, again, I don't think the Saints are going to score points. I think the Niners defense is going to show up. They're healthy, and they're going to play another really good performance, give up like 14 points. We'll see. Cassius Boyd said, if Finn's fire Mike McDaniel, we take him back as an OC.
I think he's through in San Francisco.
I think he's through in San Francisco, too. I don't think he's pulling a Robert Saleh. Peter says, shout out to Mama Ayuk. Richard Cloudis, $2. Charlie Sinclair says, Harbaugh will help Herbert close the gap. He's Allen Light. Herbert looked great week 1. He did. All Day Everyday Kim says, Harbaugh is a much better quarterback developer, and it's not even close.
Agree.
Kilo TW says, hopefully fans don't lose our minds when the Niners lose to the Saints. Had them upsetting the Niners before the injuries.
Really?
Well, it's the second road game in 2 weeks. You're going to trot out your JV team. Funny things happen, but I still don't expect the Niners to lose that game. And if they do, I'm not giving them the injury excuse. It's the fucking Saints. Beat them. How about that?
Oh, look at you cursing. It's terrible.
We got 10 minutes left. Do you want to talk about do you want to do your takeaways from week 1? You touched on them a little bit. How you saw that game?
I do have something to say.
Okay.
First of all, the Niners are a much better team than Seattle. I had picked Seattle to win the game, and I owe you a bottle of Washington State Cabernet.
Don't you forget?
And no, I already have not forgotten it. So the Niners have proven they're a better team. I think they'll beat them the next time they play. So that's two. That's already 2 wins in the division, which they didn't have last season. The Niners had to overcome 2 things. They had to overcome Seattle, which had a pretty good defense, especially early. And they had to overcome their own shortcomings. And they were Moody and the 2 picks by the quarterback.
Yeah.
The point is, they did overcome them.
Yep.
We've been critical, but the fact is, they overcame a lot of mishaps and obstacles, and they won. Winning is not only good, it's glorious. It's why you play. So I want to say, in spite of everything, they're winners.
Yeah.
And I look at them as winners until they lose.
Yeah.
I believe they're going to really beat the Saints, and they're going to be 2-0. And
Yeah.
I think a 2-0 start is however they do it, no matter what our critique is. 2-0 is very good. In fact, it's laudatory, Iggy. It's laudatory. So aside from all of my quibbles, which you just spent about 50 minutes on, they won the damn game, and they overcame themselves. And I think that's good playing. It may even be good coaching.
It was just so interesting how going into the game, we were trying to project it. And even when I picked them to win, my reasoning was, well, the offense is healthy now. They're all together now, and they'll carry the defense because the defense, I don't even know if they can stop the run. They're going to make Sam Darnold look good. The Seahawks could run for 200 yards, and that didn't play out at all. The Niners defense looked like it's ready to roll, and it might even be the engine of the team like it used to be 4 or 5 years ago. And the reason the game was close was because of offense and special teams. Just like special teams is still an issue. Offense is already hurt. Like it was amazing, but you got rid of Jake Moody, and a lot of these injured players are going to come back. And if the defense is this good, then the Niners, are contenders. They're because whenever they make a run, it's with a really good defense, and they may have that this year.
Absolutely. And the thing with Jake Moody is they kept him too long, but they got rid of him after 1 week.
And
so they've improved.
He didn't cost them the game.
And he didn't cost them the game. He almost did, but he didn't.
Yep.
So there are many, many positive signs. Although we did quibble a lot with them today, but they got rid of the kicker. It was a week late, but they got rid of him. That was good. And they won the game, and they overcame themselves. Those are all, and it means the team has a fighting spirit. That's what I'm trying to say. The team has a fighting spirit, and I like that.
And you create your own luck, right? Like Purdy got lucky at the end. He threw that deep pass to Ricky Pearsall, and Tariq Woolen stopped running. All right, but he gave the guy a chance. And then on that last play, he got the hell out of the pocket. He ran to the sideline. He flipped it up for grabs like he was freaking Joe Montana. And he gave Jake Tonjes a chance. He found Tariq Woolen, who was falling apart, and they won the game. Meanwhile, the Seahawks try to do the same thing. Darnold, who's pretty good, has the nice pass up the left sideline, drives him into the red zone, and with the game on the line, he just happens to get bumped in. He bumps into his freaking right tackle. That's something you would never see Brock Purdy do. So was that bad luck? Yeah, but it's also Darnold luck.
He's a little clumsy, Iggy.
Yeah. But he's pretty good. I thought he was one of the better players in the Seahawks in that game, but it's like the fact that that's how they lose. Yeah, I believe it. Purdy might throw the pick to lose the game, but he's not going to run into his own guy and fumble the ball. Like that's just not going to happen. In fact, he'll give his guy a chance.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we already talked about it. No Kittle, no Jennings possibly, no Purdy possibly. The defense is going to show up and probably play well. But what are we expecting from this offense against the Saints? What's it going to look like?
Okay. I think the offense will do better against the Saints, even without Kittle, and will score more points than they scored against Seattle. I think the offense will look pretty good.
I think the offense will look pretty good too. I can't name 4 players in the Saints defense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about Kendrick Bourne, but I mean, McCaffrey's going to catch a lot of passes.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall is really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what Kendrick Bourne will do. And also, Juwan Jennings may play.
Yeah. Yeah, he might.
He may play.
And the thing with Pearsall, he's a really good player, but he's very much a deep threat. Like you want to get him the ball down the field, and if Mac Jones were to play in this game, he throws a nice deep ball. Like he actually has a bigger arm than Purdy. He's not better than Purdy, but he might be more comfortable throwing the ball to Pearsall down the field.
Iggy, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Before the season started, we both gave our overall opinion of what the Niners record would be. And we each came to 10-7, but different ways. We had them winning and losing different games to a certain extent. After the first game, are you sticking with your 10-7?
Well, if they're not going to have Kittle the next few weeks, they certainly could start the season 2-4. They could win this week against the Saints and then lose to the Cardinals and the Jaguars and the Rams and the Bucks. Or they could beat the Jaguars and start 3-3. I think either way, they're okay. They should theoretically get healthy by mid-October. And if the defense is still playing well, they could go on a run. So I'm not backing off. I'm not going to be fazed by the injuries. The Niners are always injured on offense. Always. You have to expect that. But I didn't expect the defense to be this good this early. And if that's the case, then this team I'm actually more enthusiastic about this team than I was before the season started.
So you think they'll be at least 10-7?
I think they'll be at least 10-7, even with these injuries.
I feel the same way. I'm going to still stick with 10-7. I wouldn't downgrade them. If anything, I would go up to 11-6, based on what I saw last Sunday.
Yeah. I keep saying that the theme of the season is the lumps that they talked about. And we thought they were going to be from the defense, but doesn't seem like it. Wasn't in this game. The lump was the kicker. He's gone. So now the big lump was the kicker. Now the lumps are the injuries you take on offense and Kyle Shanahan's overall judgment. So we'll see. One more thing before we go. My dad we might have mentioned this before, but my dad published a memoir called Brooklyn Jew. It's officially for sale on Amazon. I put a link in the description. It's the best thing he's ever written. It's wonderful, and you would love it. And it would mean a lot to me if you guys would check it out. So why don't you check and click on the link, see what you think about this Brooklyn Jew over here. Yeah.
Brooklyn Jew.
We got a couple more super chats and then we're out of here. Vio says, if you're going to lose Kittle or Purdy, this 4 or 5 game stretch is the time to do it. I mean, the whole schedule is weak. So yeah, they should be all right. VO says the win on Sunday was exactly what the Niners need. Championship teams are built on wins like that one. That's
Fair
true.
enough.
They had a lot of luck in that game. Well, pretty much every Super Bowl winner had some games where they got lucky. You need it to happen. John Rivera, member for 44 months. Thank you. Sudden Chaos. James says every weapon shouldn't have to be a superstar for a win. Agree. Sean Shepard says, hi, Lowell and Grant. Blessed Kyle is not good. 0 value for the offensive line. Do you think, Lowell, he got this from Mike? He used small, low-round offensive line, but he had Elway.
You know, when you have a quarterback like Elway, it makes up for a lot of sins. And Mike is not in Hall of Fame. He won. He was a very good coach, and he was a great offensive coordinator here. But I don't think he was great when he didn't have Elway, just like Belichick wasn't great when he didn't have Brady.
That's true. That's true. Well, that's the show. No one got injured in the last hour. That's good. We'll see how the rest of the week goes, Dad. I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you. This was interesting. Thanks a lot.
This was. See you guys.